Good evening to all our viewers and our candidates. Welcome to the Jackson County Area Chamber of Commerce's virtual candidate forum. We're excited to have candidates present from the following races: Jackson County Commission Districts 1 and 2, State House Districts 31 and 117, Senate Districts 47 and 50, and U.S. House District 9. For our viewers, a brief introduction to our format. Each candidate will have the opportunity to make an opening introduction as well as a closing statement. The candidates will have 2 minutes for each of those. I'll ask each candidate several questions submitted by the chamber membership and reviewed by the Government Affairs Committee. Each candidate will have up to 2.5 minutes to answer each question. We will alternate which candidate gets to answer first. The candidate answering a particular question first will have the opportunity for a brief rebuttal of their opponent's response. The rebuttal should last no more than 30 seconds. Our first race tonight will be District 1, featuring the incumbent Jim Hicks and his challenger Jamie Mitchum. We'll ask Mr. Hicks to deliver his opening statement first, and Mr. Mitchum will go first in answering the first question after both have made their opening statements. Mr. Hicks?
Thank you, Tim. I'm not Frank Ginn, as you see the sign, but I am going to vote for him. My name is Jim Hicks. I live in Jefferson, have lived here with my wife for over 50 years. Raised a family in this community, raised 2 sons, and I have 1 son that still lives in the community. I started my career in this community in the public schools as a school teacher, and then moved on as an administrator in the public schools, and then finished my professional experiences at the University of Georgia as an administrator. Upon retiring from the University of Georgia, I came back home and decided that I could not sit down, so I became a real estate broker and a property appraiser, and did that for several years until I talked with some friends and they influenced me to run for the commission seat that was being vacated by Tom Crow when he ran for chairmanship. So 8 years ago, I ran for the District 1 representative on the commission. I've enjoyed it. It has been a learning experience for me, but it's also been very, very enjoyable. I feel like that during that particular time, we've made some improvements and some changes, and I think we are well on the way to many great things as far as this county is concerned. I am actively involved in the county. I belong to the First Baptist Church. I'm a longtime member of the Lions Club, active member of the Chamber of Commerce, a member of Jefferson Booster. I think it's vitally important that if you're going to be in a position such as this, that you are in the community, that you do interact with people, and that you know the folks in the community. So those are my credentials. As far as telling you what I would like to accomplish if you elect me for another term, I think it basically has not changed from the 4 statements that I gave 4 years ago, but I'll restate those so that you are familiar with them. Number 1, I think, is that we have got to make sure that we continue to be successful with economic development. If we do not do that, then I don't think we are going to improve the way that we need to.
All right.
The second thing we need to do, I think, is to be work with our schools and do all that we can to help them. If we don't have an educated workforce, then we can't, of course, have successful economic development. We have to recognize that because of the growth that's coming, that we have to make sure that we have growth that is reasonable and that we can control and that we can take care of as far as our resources are concerned. And then last of all, I hope that we can help maintain the beauty of this county that we all know is and will continue to be. We're about 40% industrial, about 40% residential, and about 20% agricultural right now. And I hope that we can continue to do that. So that's where, that's the standpoint I'm coming from. I'm glad to be here tonight. Be glad to answer any questions. Thank you.
Mr. Mitchum, your opening statement, please.
Okay, first I would like to thank you for hosting the forum. My name is Jamie Mitchum, and I'm running to be your next county commissioner in District 1, which covers Jefferson, Pendergrass, Talmo, and the Jackson Trail area. I'm your neighbor, and I love this county and the people in it. I strive to be a genuinely good guy and live by the golden rule. I'm a family man. We've lived in Jefferson for over 12 years. I've been happily married to my wife, Christy, for 16 years, and we have a 12-year-old son who attended pre-K at Jefferson First Baptist and Jefferson City Schools. We have 2 cats and a guinea pig, too. My wife and I coached soccer for about 10 seasons for the Jefferson Parks and Recreation Department, including a championship winning team and a couple of second-place teams. I'm an educator who teaches geographic information systems, geography, meteorology, and cartography courses at the University of North Georgia's Gainesville campus. I've been elected the past 2 years to serve as chair of the Faculty Senate at University of North Georgia, representing faculty on all 5 of our campuses from Blue Ridge to Oconee County. I've served on dozens of committees, including search committees, promotion committees, provost council, and faculty advisory committee on budgets. I conduct research, including a current federal grant, publish research findings, teach students, and I was awarded the first ever HAZUS User of the Year award by FEMA for my training of emergency managers using GIS software. I'm the son of a retired public elementary school teacher and an electrical engineer. My parents have been married for over 50 years. I'm the grandson of 2 World War II veterans who worked as textile mill workers and a furniture store manager and farmer. I'm a devout Christian, and I even used to sing in a church choir with American Idol winner Scotty McCreery's parents when I was in graduate school. I want to give Jackson County voters an opportunity to elect someone new to the Board of Commissioners who will bring new energy, a strong work ethic, and most importantly, transparent representation for all people who live in District 1. I ask for your vote, and I hope to represent you as your next county commissioner. As my signs say, if you got ideas, pitch them to Mitchum.
Thank you both, Mr. Hicks and Mr. Mitchum, for your opening statements. We will start with Mr. Mitchum, question number 1, and please remember 2 minutes for the answers to these questions, please. Growth has come to Jackson County, commercial, industrial, and residential. What is your philosophy toward growth, and what tools would you use to manage it? Are you back? You muted yourself, I believe.
I'm sorry, I did. Yes.
There you are.
Thank you. So that's to me first, correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct. Did you hear the question?
I did. Yes, thank you. So that's a very important question, and one of the reasons I wanted to run as well. I think most people maybe have heard Jackson County is the 10th fastest growing county in the entire country. So growth is inevitable, you know, being on the outskirts of Atlanta and with the I-85 coming through the area, and just the beauty that we have in the schools here. You know, we have a lot of attracting factors, a lot of pull factors for industry and commercial and residential. What I worry about, and what I hear a lot from my neighbors and friends, is concern about Jackson County becoming like Gwinnett County. And when people say that, I ask, you know, what do you mean? And so they're often talking about, you know, issues with traffic, loss of, you know, green space and trees, everything kind of being paved over, and kind of overdevelopment in some senses, just the sprawl that occurs. So I'm definitely for development. I think we have to grow, and we need that revenue to support our schools. But I hope that we're able to manage it in a way that we can focus commercial development in our nodes, you know, like the comprehensive plan shows, but that we stick with that plan after it's created, because that involved a lot of public input, and try not to modify it unless absolutely necessary. And also then look at infilling. You know, we have a lot of vacant lots, and you can do infilling in urban areas. I'm happy to see what they're doing with the Jefferson Mill, you know, the proposal to kind of use that space for new commercial development instead of having to, you know, pave over some new area and build fresh. So I think we need that tax base. We need to attract new industries. The other thing I would hope to see for Jackson County are high-tech industries and some of the jobs of the future that pay, very well, and having the education to support that, the skilled labor force to have high-paying jobs that will be here for a long time and not, struggle with this boom and bust, that can happen in the economy.
Thank you very much. Mr. Hicks, same question to you. Do you need me to repeat the question?
Yeah, go ahead and do that. So I can hear
Yes,
it
sir.
here.
Growth has come to Jackson County, commercial, industrial, and residential. What is your philosophy toward growth, and what tools would you use to manage it?
We are having growth. As I said in the beginning, I'm an economic development person. So I think we need to continue to try to recruit business and industry so that we can have a balance with what we know will come as far as residential is concerned. When I came in office 8 years ago, I think we had 85 housing permits granted that year. In 2020, I'm sure we're going over 1,000 housing permits that will be granted this year. So we know that the residential growth is always going to be coming. The problem there is that we cannot overstretch our need for water and sewer and our roads, the use of our roads. That's one of the things that concerns me much, is the traffic and the way that we're able to handle that. Along with that, when we're looking at residential growth, I think we must consider that the value of a house, as far as the value is concerned, has to be pretty high for it to balance the need that'll be there for the people that move in there, and that is schools and all the other services that we have to provide. I suspect that the average house that we have sold in the county right now is not paying enough tax for the kind of services they receive. So that's a challenge always for us. The comprehensive plan is great for us because it does give us a map to go by. We do have an idea of where we think we should grow residentially. We know that commercially that we do need to stay close to that 85 card, and I think we've done a good job of that. We've got pretty good distribution of businesses and industry from Brazelton now all the way to Commerce, and it will continue, I think, to follow that. And most of that should be, along that card. Some on the 129 card and maybe the 441, most of it by 85 card. So the challenge is going to be for us to be able to provide the resources. We know that the folks are coming. It was mentioned, my opponent mentioned the infill. We've just about granted permits for all our infill vacancies that we had in the existing subdivisions. So we've just about filled those up. So we probably will see more requests for new subdivisions. And of course, we're going to have to work toward how we control those and what the makeup will be.
Mr. Mitchum, you went first, so you do have a chance for a 30-second rebuttal if you elect to.
I would just say, yes, growth is coming. It's inevitable. Just having smart growth, planning for it, and making sure it's planned and focused and protect our residential areas that are already here.
Thank you. Question number 2 to Mr. Hicks. Tell us what challenges you see for the county's budget and what should be prioritized over the next 4 years.
Well, the challenges for the budget is you never have all the monies that you'd like to have. The good thing for us is that we had a good year in 20. Our reserves that we have now are in the range of the 20 to 25% that we do need, that the folks tell us that we do need to have. You'll see, I think, in the paper this week, in the month of August, we had probably our largest tax